Thank you for your response,
Judy, please get off. Tony has his on too. So does Sharon. Socks.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Gotcha.
So you get extra credit for that?
I'm praying they're not.
You're arrested something.
No, I have a this morning because my son is dead serious about not.
I sent my prayer to the mayor of Brattleboro. Mayor of Brattleboro, our sister city.
Yeah, so we're doing those ahead of time.
I've got it right here. It's Father Greg, Michelle Cotton.
Judy has it.
And Joe. Yeah, so we got a couple different ones there.
Okay, yeah, I got it. And then is this Colleen?
Oh, I don't. Who? But
So that's Carly Scarborough. This is mine. So Carly Scarborough.
oh, thank you. Who did I give them to?
Colleen.
Let me ask you. So that was crazy. How would you say that?
I only got one pair.
Colleen?
I'd say Colin.
Colin? But that's a female.
Not necessarily.
Jump.
There is no such thing.
With a what?
There is no such thing.
I find you to be mistaken. But
Michelle McCollum?
no, not Michelle.
Barbara? Colleen is what it said.
Jill, Christine, Jill says your print. Yeah, that will work. She's not sure. So she says
Miss Gwen.
she would think.
Yeah, that's what I'd say.
For a pair of socks?
I know, right?
I'll get a marker.
I get the hand-me-down ones.
Maybe with like one of those upgrades.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the regular Sierra Vista City Council meeting for November 14th, 2019. Madam Clerk, may we have a roll call, please?
Mayor Rick Mueller,
Present.
Mayor Pro Tem Rachel Gray,
Present.
Councilmember William Benning,
Present.
Councilmember Gwen Calhoun,
Present.
Councilmember Sarah Pacheco,
Present.
Councilmember Carolyn Umphrey,
Present.
Councilmember Christine Wolf.
Present.
Mr. Mayor, you have a quorum.
Thank you, Mrs. Adams. We'll now move on to the invocation, immediately followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. Invocation tonight will be led by Reverend Donna Smith of the Grateful Passages for Vets, and followed immediately by the Pledge of Allegiance led by Mr. Benning. Please rise as you're able.
Please join me in prayer. Knowing that right here in this room, the essence and presence of the one source, the one body, in this room there is a blood that is filled here, has come forth to do the business of this city I call Sierra Vista. And I know as Mayor Rick leads this city council, that unfolds in the most perfect way. Everything that is discussed unfolds for the highest and best for Sierra Vista. I am so grateful for this opportunity to bless this chamber, bless each one here. I simply say thank you, God, for everything that happens tonight. It happens for the highest and best of this city. And for all of those attending, they feel the presence and the essence of the one. So I simply say thank you, God, for tonight. Thank you, God, for each one. Thank you, God, for the mayor and the city council and each person here. And I release my word into the law knowing that it's perfect. And I allow it to be. And so it is. Amen.
Please join me in reciting of the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, for liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Please be seated. Thank you, Reverend Smith, and thank you, Mr. Benning.
Thanks, sir.
We now move to item number 1, acceptance of the agenda. Ms. Umphrey.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move that the agenda for the regular city council meeting on November 14th, 2019 be approved as written.
A second.
Been moved and seconded. Any additions, deletions, corrections to the agenda? Seeing none, I'll call for the question. All those in favor? Opposed? It's unanimous. Thank you very much. We'll now move on to awards and presentations. We have a a proclamation followed by a number of awards today, and we'll start with the proclamation declaring 14 November as Arizona Veterans Hall of Fame Day, and I'd ask those representatives from the Arizona Hall of Fame to come meet me up front.
Hoorah.
Got everybody? Thank you for joining us. It's my honor and privilege as mayor of the city of Sierra Vista to offer the following proclamation on behalf of the citizens of Sierra Vista. Whereas Arizona veterans have served and sacrificed on behalf of our state and nation and deserve our eternal respect and admiration. And whereas the Arizona Veterans Hall of Fame was created by the Unified Arizona Veterans and the Governor of Arizona to honor and celebrate the lives of our brave men and women in uniform who have sacrificed in the past and continue to live selfless lives in service to their communities. And whereas the 2019 class of the Arizona Veterans Hall of Fame was duly inducted in a special ceremony on 18 October 2019 in Scottsdale, Arizona. And whereas veterans William Bates, Bob Conte, and Ludwig Kuttner were inducted into this year's Arizona Hall of Fame. And whereas the number of outstanding local veterans now inducted totals 48, attesting to the fact that our community is blessed with many veterans who continue to serve our community, the state, and our nation with distinction. Now therefore be resolved that I, Frederick W. Mueller, Mayor of the City of Sierra Vista, Arizona, do hereby proclaim November 14th, 2019 to be Arizona Veterans Hall of Fame Day in and for the City of Sierra Vista. In witness whereof I hereunto set my hand and cause the great seal of the City of Sierra Vista to be affixed this the 14th day of November, the year of our Lord, 2019, and independence of the United States of America, 243rd, signed Frederick Mueller, Mayor. Congratulations, Mr. Mayor.
Very well. I want to thank you for the proclamation. Accept this on behalf of all the veterans of the community. You mentioned the three gentlemen in the proclamation. Unfortunately, none of the three can make it. Lou Kuttner moved back east. Bob Conte is under chemotherapy, and he just wasn't up to it. And Bill Bates, the third one, I found out a couple hours ago he fell down. He was on his way to the hospital. So anyway, we mentioned that we had so many members. The Hall of Fame has 432 inductees, and we have 48 or 49, not sure of the count. We have a little over 11% of the total count with the state, with only about 4% of the veteran population. So we think it's really great for us. And my goal is to have raise that percentage in the next year or so. And again, Mayor, I thank you very much.
Thank you, everybody. Next up, I will ask our award-winning public relations staff to come forward. They've been racking up a number of awards, and if Judy, if you bring your team up, and we'll make these presentations. We got a mess of them. It's great when we have a department that does a great job for the city, but it's also great when the department is recognized regionally and nationally for their quality work that they provide the citizens. And the first one I'm gonna, and you're gonna probably have to talk about some of these awards when you get a chance. But the first one is the 3 CMA Award, and it honors creative marketing and communications and providing marketing tools for community development. And this specifically dealt with our economic development booklet that was produced, which is available in hard copy and on the line, right? So if you want to see what it looks like, please do. And Judy, congratulations. You might want to pass that down as we got. And another award from the 3CMA group. It's the Silver Circle Photography Multi-Image Use, and it was for the Sky Island Summit Photography Challenge in September. Congratulations. Again, another award of excellence from the 3CMA group for printed publications and external publications, and our new Vistas newsletter, which you all should have seen, was the second issue, just got mailed? Or third issue? Okay. Okay, it's been redesigned a few times. Okay, I got you. But the new one that's getting mailed to everybody has got a lot of critical information about what's going on in the community. If you haven't seen it, Judy can hook you up. And the last one is from the Arizona Association of Economic Development, the 2019 Golden Prospector Award for Merit for the City of Sierra Vista, and it was for producing the brochure, the Sierra Vista Community Overview. So again, congratulations.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I would just really like to thank my staff. There are only 3 of them here, but we have a really strong team of incredible individuals who help us get through all of this. And, you know, they're creative and smart and dedicated. And I'm just really honored to be here standing with them today, accepting these awards. Thank you. Wow.
Thank you, guys. And now we'll move to the city manager's report. Mr. Patuchik.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. Our final regularly scheduled work session for 2019 will be held on December 10th, 3 p.m., and that will be here in the council chambers. Obviously, that means there's a gap there. The work session of November 26th and the council meeting of November 28th, which is Thanksgiving Day, are obviously canceled because of the holidays. A reminder that city offices will be closed on Thursday, November 28th and Friday, November 29th in observance of the holiday. And that means that refuse service will only be provided on Monday and Tuesday of that week. A number of projects tonight. I'll turn to those. We are requesting proposals to reopen the skateboard and bike shop rental at the park. So those will be going out, and those bids will be accepted and opened on December 16th. We have a request for quotes for the Rothery Center fence. As you're all aware, we are leasing property from the school district at the Rothery Center. And they have a number of ball fields with some fence that's in pretty poor shape. So we're finally getting around to cleaning that up, and that'll be a good thing and help to make that property look a lot better. And those quotes will be opened on November 20th. Former maintenance yard, the demolition there, that's a CDBG-funded project, was awarded to the firm of BR Contractors, and 2 buildings have been torn down, and they're working on the large building now, so that is underway, and that's a good thing. Airport helipad erosion repairs was awarded to K&G on November 8th, so that'll be underway here soon. And then the Avenida Escuela extension improvements, which is the bridge over the wash between the Domingo Paez project and the Walmart area, was awarded to Perry Engineers, so that engineering work will be underway. And then we have a potential bidder that is going to go into the library cafe. So that's something we've been talking about for a while, and we're just waiting on signing the contract. So I won't make that official announcement on who that is until we have the contract awarded, but that's a very good thing. And then I just want to wish, on behalf of the staff, a happy Thanksgiving to everybody in Sierra Vista, and I hope it's a safe and a good one to spend with family. Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Patuchik. Questions for Mr. Patuchik on his report?
Who is it?
I know.
Well, we'll announce that shortly. I do have a question on the bridge. At what point do we approach the Walmart folks for their contribution?
Well, Mr. Mayor, members of the council, as you're aware, we have a development agreement with Walmart when they came in, and they agreed to pay half the price of the bridge extension there at such time as the city found the funds to do that project. So we're looking at hopefully budgeting for that next fiscal year, and that proposal will be before you at that time. So we have not yet sent the letter to Walmart, but we do need to do that soon, so I appreciate
And
the
what I'm
reminder
suggesting,
on
of
that.
course, because we talked about this before, is that we have a projected date when we'd like to see it. We just need to give warning because I'm sure that corporation does budget processes too, even though they probably have a little more money than we do.
They probably do, but it would be good to give them fair warning, so
Okay,
appreciate
good.
that.
All right, any other questions for Mr. Pachich on his report? All right, then we'll move on to item number 2. Ms. Wolf.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Before I do this, I do have some names. I apologize. I'm going to say them to the best of my ability. If I pull a council member Benning, please forgive me. Oh, that's right.
I thought you were
went
going to
there.
say Mayor Mueller.
She took my trash from me because I was going to
wrong.
throw it. You're lucky.
It would have been fair. Mr. Mayor, I move that the consent agenda consisting of the City Council regular meeting minutes of October 24th, 2019, Resolution 2019-087, reappointment of Carly Scarborough, Colleen Barron, and Nander Felsen to the Libraries Advisory Commission, Resolution 2019-088, reappointment of Father Gregory P. Adolph, Michelle Cotton, Joe C. Ford, and appointment of Michelle McCollin to the West End Commission, and Resolution 2019-089, acceptance of Madison Monblow's resignation with regret, and reappointment of Ethan Johnson to the Youth Commission be approved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion on these items?
I would just point out that a number of these individuals are with us in the audience here today, and thank you for being willing to step up and serve on commissions. We really appreciate your service.
Yeah, we do appreciate your service, and I just mentioned that for those that aren't sworn in, you probably got an appointment with the city clerk.
Immediately after.
Immediately after the meeting, she'll be able to swear you in. Okay, so, any further discussion? Seeing none, I'll call for the question. All those in favor? Opposed? It's unanimous. Congratulations. Item number 3 is a tabled item. Do we have a motion to remove the item from the table?
No.
Seeing no motion, the item will remain on the table. We now move to new business. Item number 4, Mrs. Gray.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move that ordinance 2019-007, Development Code Amendments to Section 151-04004, dumping or disposal rubbish, and Article 151.10, sign regulations be approved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Mr. McLaughlin, may we have the staff report, please?
Mr. Mayor, members of council, the amendments before you have undergone the 30-day public review process with no comments being received. What we're proposing for adoption in Exhibit A is removing redundant or unnecessary provisions from the Development Code consistent with prior strategic plan guidance. What's not included are amendments to the home-based business section that were considered at the public hearing stage to add restrictions on automotive sales. That section has been dropped from the ordinance, leaving only a couple minor revisions. The first section proposed for removal relates to removing duplicative regulations covering dumping or disposal of rubbish from the Development Code, as the issue is already covered under the city's Building and Property Maintenance Code. One of the things we look for in our annual review is eliminating conflicting or duplicative regulations. It's our recommendation that litter control, which prohibits illegal dumping, is best addressed and enforced through the procedures provided in the Building and Property Maintenance Code. The second change pertains to removing the minimum panel size requirement from multi-tenant signs. This will provide a property owner with more flexibility in allocating the space on their sign, particularly in situations where the number of tenants exceed the number of sign panels that can be accommodated by a sign face. That's the extent of this first round of amendments, which were unanimously approved by the Planning and Zoning Commission at their September 3rd meeting, and I'll be glad to answer any questions.
Any questions for Mr. McLaughlin? Yes, ma'am.
I just have a comment, and I just want to say I think these are really good additions, and are especially for the sign regulations. I think that's going to be really helpful to businesses and give a little bit more leeway. Thank you.
Any further discussion?
Sir, I agree.
I agree.
Seeing none, I'll call for the question. All those in favor? Opposed? It's unanimous. Thank you very much. We'll now move on to item number 5, Mrs. Pacheco.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move that Resolution 2019-090 restating support for improvement of the Veterans Memorial in Veterans Memorial Park through a memorandum of understanding with the Sierra Vista Veterans Memorial Improvement Foundation be approved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Mrs. Wilson.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of council. In 2016, the City Council approved a resolution which permitted the Sierra Vista Veterans Memorial Improvement Foundation to begin fundraising efforts to improve and expand the Veterans Memorial located on the south side of Veterans Memorial Park. The resolution before you today restates support for the project and formally approves the design concept. The concept was presented to you during the October 22nd work session by the director of the SVB MIF, Mr. Glenn Homan, who's in the audience today. This resolution also directs the city manager to execute a memorandum of understanding with the foundation, which details the specifics of the project and responsibilities of maintaining the memorial once the project is complete. The design concept of the memorial improvements have been reviewed by the Parks and Recreation Commission with consensus of approval. And that concludes staff report. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Mrs. Wilson. Do we have any questions for Mrs. Wilson?
No questions, just a comment, Mr.
Do we have any further discussion? Yes, sir.
I just want to, thank everyone from the SVVMIF, say that 5 times. They did a lot of work putting this together, and I'd like to see the video being shared more to the public so they can see what's coming, Glenn, if you can do that. I think it's a beautiful concept, so the more we can share, the more they understand. So I really appreciate your hard work, though. Thank you.
Yeah. Any other questions or comments? Yes, ma'am.
Was there any indication of when the work would actually start on the monument?
Mr. Mayor, Councilmember Calhoun, no, I think it depends largely on their fundraising efforts, and this just kind of gets the ball rolling for them. They have a concept now, they can hit the ground running, and then we'll be in constant communication, and I'm sure the council will have regular updates on that.
Thank you. I did want to add one other thing in reading about it. I think it's so wonderful that you're including the current monument as part of your project. Too often we knock away the old to put in the new, but to incorporate it is really a wonderful thing. And I know I, along with lots of other people, appreciate that you did that.
Thank you, Mrs. Calhoun. Any other comments? Yes, ma'am.
I just thought it was a fitting that this MOU was coming before us today when we had the proclamation for Arizona Veterans Hall of Fame. So fitting all around, but excited about the project.
Okay. Anything else? Seeing nothing else, I'll call for the question. All those in favor? Opposed? It's unanimous. Thank you very much, and thank you, veterans. We appreciate your efforts on the memorial. Next item is item number 6. Mrs. Calhoun.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move that Resolution 2019-091, authorizing the City of Sierra Vista on behalf of the Upper San Pedro Partnership to submit a web portal grant application through a WaterSmart Applied Science Grant with the Department of Interior Bureau of Reclamation be approved.
It's been moved and seconded. Mrs. Osborne, may we have the staff report, please?
Thank you, Mayor and members of council. This resolution is for council's approval for the city to act on behalf of the Upper San Pedro Partnership in submitting a proposal to the Bureau of Reclamation's WaterSmart Applied Science Grant Program. The proposal is to create a web-based hydrologic information portal that provides data from the Upper San Pedro Basin for water managers, decision makers, and for the public. The cost to construct this web portal is a total of $198,000, $99,000 of which will come from BOR's grant. The remaining $99,000 will be supplied through the Nature Conservancy, USPP, and ADWR. Since the City of Sierra Vista serves as the fiscal agent for USPP, there will be an in-kind contribution of $10,850 to administer and manage the grant.
Questions for Mrs. Osmer?
I have a comment, if I could.
Well,
Mr. Mayor.
yeah, discussion?
Discussion?
Go
Yes, okay. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just want to mention that at the USPP meeting on yesterday morning, it's been a long week. We had a lot of meetings, lots of meetings, just every single day. So yesterday morning, we had an in-depth discussion about this portal. If I could just share, I'm really excited about, it's going to be a map-based tool online for the public, for anyone to use. It's very visual. The USPP has done, a lot of data gathering over the years, and there's a way for this data now to be displayed and accessed by the public. So we see a lot of sometimes controversy and sometimes back and forth between, members of the media or whoever about whether or not do we have water, is there water, how much water do we have, that kind of those questions that come up. This is a tool that answers a lot of those questions in detail, and that data has been being gathered for decades and now will be available for everybody. So I think that's a very positive thing. That's all.
Thank you. Any other comments, questions? Thank you, Ms. Osborne. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
All those in favor? Opposed? It's unanimous. Thank you very much. We now move to call the public. We have three folks that would like to speak to us tonight. If there's somebody that hasn't filled out a form that would like to speak to us, there are forms available by both entry points. I would ask you to fill those out and get them to Maria. For those who haven't spoken here, you have 5 minutes to address the council. And we have a light system that starts with green and ends with red. When your 5 minutes is up, I'll ask you to conclude your remarks. And we'll start tonight with Mr. George Monken.
Thank you. I'm George Monken, representing the Good Neighbor Alliance this evening, and I want to give you an update on our community's only homeless residential shelter. This will be a very brief update of your homeless shelter. So far this year, we have sheltered 116 guests, which includes 7 families, 16 children, 43 women, and 54 men. We have helped house 45 of them. We continue to provide a wide range of resources for our neighbors in this need, especially our homeless veterans. For the past 18 years, Good Neighbor Alliance have been providing shelter in the storms of life with great community and volunteer support. In fact, our volunteer donated over 325 hours this past month. We are very grateful to the continuing support of the City of Sierra Vista and all our partnering churches and organizations. Thank you again, and please visit us at 420 7th Street.
Thank you very much. I just want to say your organization does a great job for our community. We really appreciate it. It's been down here for years. I've been a personal supporter, and I'm sure many of the council people support them as well. So, folks, if you're looking for some place to put a tax-deductible donation to cut down on your taxes, that's one of many good places that you can do that. Next up, we have Mr. DiCarlo.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of council, staff, citizens of Sierra Vista. It's good to see everybody here this evening. I was inspired by your work session on Tuesday. I found that was one of the most effective work sessions that we've gotten to. And part of the inspiration was drawing a graph on how the money goes or how the trash goes. What we've done, or what I've tried to accomplish here is separate residential, which is a service, government service provided to the citizens of Sierra Vista by the city government, and commercial refuse, which is a enterprise system, a government enterprise, which can actually be called a monopoly. So we need to separate those two. So on the left here, in the gray area, would be where the commercial refuse and stuff goes. we have a shared government. Actually, the thing that really inspired me to come here today was the disdain the finance person had for the members of council because his inability to explain the math, and he became frustrated. And that's why I'm here explaining this to you. On the right is residential. On the left is commercial. They're mutually exclusive, but however, they all end up at the same spot, the landfill. You were being asked by staff to make a calculated decision with too many unaccounted for variables. In order to understand this, we must understand who owns and operates the landfill. What portion is the city a stakeholder in that? So that we're not talking to folks on two ends when we're dealing with residential. Residential should be, we pay you, you come pick up our trash, you get rid of it. Commercial, you can make all the deals you want because that's business. When we try to move residential more in line with commercial, we are forcing the residents of Sierra Vista to become in business with the city of Sierra Vista. There is a cost of doing business that appears to be about 36%, as noted on the presentation. I went to the library today to obtain a copy of the Arizona Constitution. There used to be 6 copies there. I actually brought one in one time when I spoke about the bond issuance. There's no copy of the Arizona Constitution in the public library. If there's no copy of the Constitution in the foundation or the fountain of knowledge known as the public library, people are ignorant about how they're being governed. If people are ignorant about how they're being governed, they're being ruled over. I would recommend that council and Mr. Mayor that we get some Constitution, at least a couple in the library so people can use them as a ready reference. Because if not, we end up in this cycle of government here. Healthy zone of exercise of government. It's in the middle, the center here. This is citizen directive. We come, we approach council, we say, hey, or we approach a member of council, we say, hey, we'd like to see this or that. Can you pay attention to that? Do you think we have any grip? And we drive government. Where what we've been in for the last very long time, because usually there's not as many people here, is that staff makes recommendations under the government directed and government recommended. They're resource rattling. That's all they're doing. Hey, we need more money. We need more money to do this. But if the folks don't stand up and say, hey, why are we providing all these special services when all we're supposed to do is take your trash away? And since this is Thanksgiving and coming into the holiday season, I hope all of you wonderful folks, all of you, have a great Thanksgiving and a great holiday season. Now, however, there's one thing that comes up. We only have trash pickup once during Thanksgiving week. But however, when I brought that up before as a recommendation to cut down on the amount of cost of trash, a state law was in unison broadcast to everyone to say more or less, stay away from my fiefdom, don't touch me. Now, being as which that there was this fellow named Darren that kept being brought up during the work session. Usually when folks bring up a name, they bring up Mr. DiCarlo. So I went to thinking this might be an acronym. And if this is an acronym, Darren is an acronym. It actually stands for Data Analyzing Robot for the Ruthless Extermination of Noobs. And if that's in the trash, there's a lot of things that need to be thrown in the trash. And in closing, because of this preponderance of evidence of government malfeasance, liberty, with the purpose of forming a more perfect representative city government, we, the citizens of Sierra Vista, standing mutually resolved, demand to adopt a city charter that clearly defines the purpose, size, and scope of the limited functions of government within its jurisdiction. And with that, I thank you very much, members of council, staff, and everybody here. Have a great night.
Thank you, Mr. Carlo.
Thank you.
We next go on to, it says Buena High School Chief Science Officers. You don't listen to name. I introduced you by name, but you didn't tell me what your names are, so I'd ask you to do that when you come up here.
Hi, I am Kaylee.
I'm Ashlyn.
I'm Rain. And we're the Buena High School Chief Science Officers. Thank you for seeing us today. As we've said, we are the Buena High School Chief Science Officers, or CSOs as we like to call it. A CSO is a STEM ambassador and advocate in each person's community, whether it be your house, your school, your club, whatever. We have multiple schools in our county involved in this program, such as Wilcox High School, Tombstone High School, St. David Middle and High School, Colonel Smith Middle School, and more. Every year, a CSO has to put on an action plan, a STEM activity that enriches each person's community. As Buena CSOs, we are putting on a giant STEM fair in the park for the community, along with other Cochise County CSOs. During the STEM fair, we will have many STEM businesses and programs have booths and STEM activities for people to participate in. We have Bisbee Science Lab, Girls Who's Code, AZ Science Center, March for Science, and many more. Along with the high school culinary programs who have offered to fundraise and have food trucks around Sierra Vista and Tucson come down and help sell food. Each school also have STEM clubs such as robotics, chemistry, auto, nursing, EMS, and more have also offered to help with booths. We have Veterans Memorial Park reserved for March 7th, 2020, and we would love your support. Thank you.
Could I ask you one thing?
Yes.
If Judy, are you still sitting down behind them ladies?
No, but
No, she's here. Adam? Adam, if you would get with these young ladies, because we need to get the information, we need to put it in the vistas that will be available that quarter, right?
Okay, I'll follow up.
And follow up with her and make sure they get contact information so we can help you advertise, okay?
Thank you.
All right, thank you, ladies. That was excellent. Okay, we now move on to comments and requests of council. Tonight we'll start with Mrs. Calhoun.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just a couple of things. Happy Thanksgiving to everyone. I hope you have an opportunity to be with family, with friends, and share your gratitude with many folks for all that we have to be grateful for. Also, thank you, CSOs. We've been hearing about you for quite a while now, and it's really nice to meet you, and we'll do what we can to help out with that science fair in the park. That should be lots of fun. We have seen the robotics team several times, and so look forward to all of this effort you guys are making. I have to comment on the open house that we had yesterday at Sierra Suites to talk about, to show the public and get input from the public on the Fry Boulevard Improvement Plan. It was so exciting. For 2 different periods of time, we invited folks to come over, and we probably had way over 100 people who participated in helping us to kind of narrow down the design that we're looking at for the Fry improvement. Is that it? Fry improvement. Fry Boulevard improvement. So I would like to offer you from the council, from the city, a little button that says Fry Forward, and it talks about, it just expresses your approval, your understanding of the plans that are being made for Fry Boulevard. And I do have a question I need to ask about, will there be any other open houses that are being planned?
In this phase, those are the 2 for this phase. There may be more as we go down and proceed, right? Matt?
Mr. Mayor, Councilmember Calhoun, there will be 2 more public meetings. The dates have not been scheduled. And at the next round of meetings, we will be presenting alternative design proposals for community consideration and narrowing down the ultimate preferred cross-section that will be used to develop the design and construction documents.
This is really something very exciting. That's a word that we kept hearing over and over and over again. Yesterday was how exciting. And this is something that will happen, and it will happen soon. So if you have previous beliefs that we talk a lot about these sort of things and they don't happen, you can do away with that. This is going to happen this time, and it's really fascinating. One other question, where can folks see those designs that have been forwarded, or will that be public at any time soon?
A website's been created for this project, Fry Forward, on the Sierra Vista page. Will host all the information on public meetings as well as design proposals.
Right. Okay.
And the buttons are right here.
So help yourself to a button and to the information that's on the website. And with that, let me check my notes. That Does it? Thank you all so much, and happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you, Mrs. Calhoun. Mr. Benning.
First, I want to thank you, Mr. Mayor. I want to echo what Councilwoman Calhoun said. The open house was really well taken yesterday, and a lot of positives came out of it. And a lot of people that came with negativity actually left more positive than when they walked in the door. So I think it was a good time yesterday. I also want to say it was good news hearing about the Snyder Project and the rewards we're seeing already and where they're coming. So that was real nice to hear in the work session the other day. So my hat's off to them. Veterans Day, best time of the year. To my fellow veterans on the council, I just want to say thank you for your service. I also want to say thank you to all the Arizona Veterans Hall of Fame members for your service and your commitment to the community. I looked out while I was writing notes in the audience, and you can see people and organizations that they support. Veterans doing good things, Friends of the Sierra Vista Animal Shelter, Veterans Ran, Veterans doing things. The Veterans Memorial Improvement Foundation. The things we do in this community, and anywhere you look, the veterans we see, it's just heartwarming that we gave not only 20-plus years to our country, but we're also giving it to our community. We didn't say it was time to quit. So my hat's off to all the veterans in Sierra Vista and the surrounding areas and in the country. Thank you for what you do. On that note, I do have to congratulate a couple people. I think one's here, two's here. We had the Canyon Vista and Legacy Foundation's Veterans Wall of Fame ceremony. I know some of us got taken off the wall. It was an honor to be hung with y'all. And then some people like Glenn Holman, this is your year, Glenn, just admit it, got put on the wall, so congratulations. And it was a good ceremony. It's always a good ceremony. I want to say congratulations quick to Judy and the rest of her team for everything y'all do. We appreciate you. For the young ladies from the CSO, thank you. They briefed us at our commission meeting on Tuesday night, and I asked them to come up and do a call to the public today to get the word out more, because I know we've been hearing about them. And I always say our future's positive. Just look at our young kids, our number one asset. And that proves the point right there, and it continues to do so. And then finally, I think, just a happy Thanksgiving to everybody, and be safe, and we'll see you in December.
Thank you, Mr. Benning. Mrs. Humphrey.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I was just thinking when the CSOs were up here that I wish I had that kind of presence. They did so well speaking. I'm still not that good, so. But yeah, good job. I want to also congratulate the veterans who were inducted into the Arizona Hall of Fame. It's one of the many reasons I'm so proud to be in Sierra Vista is this community and all of the veterans we have living in it and that continue to serve in other ways. I also want to say congratulations to all the public relations department, but I don't know if she's still there. I can't.
It's here.
Adam. Gosh, Adam, I'm so sorry. We keep overlooking you. I'm really, it's that month that I'm really grateful for. We think about what we're thankful for. And this week alone, there's been so much, starting with the Veterans Parade. We had the most amazing weather. You didn't need your winter coat this year, which was really great. That's the Arizona in me. Like I've had to wear a winter coat in previous years. I'm grateful that we had so many people attend the 2 open houses. I went to both, and I think Gwen's right. It had to be over 100 people. And to see the community come out, take the time to see what was presented and give us feedback, it means so much, and it's so helpful and really makes this plan more solid going forward. And the word I heard the most often spoken was the word excited, which I thought was really cool. And I am thankful for all the commissioners that are stepping up to serve or coming back to serve on our commissions. And happy Thanksgiving. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Humphrey. Ms. Wolf.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I don't really have a ton more to add. My fellow council members have been, if not succinct, have covered everything. So I do want to say that at least for the Fry Boulevard, please look up Fry Forward. We are still taking information and comments and all of that, and it really is something that I know we are all going to look at, and it does make a difference. I want to give a little shout out to Miss Osborne. It's always exciting to see a new face presenting. Not that we don't always love our old faces, but it's always nice to see someone new. And as for Thanksgiving, I hope everybody eats a lot. I hope you laugh a lot, and I hope you're safe and be happy.
Thank you. Mrs. Pacheco.
Okay, I think it's all been said. So I agree with you all. Happy Thanksgiving, and congrats to the PR team. You're awesome. That's it.
Okay, thank you. Madam Mayor Pro Tem Gray.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Yes, a lot has been said. And I'll just say that also on the Fry open houses yesterday, I didn't get to attend the last one due to a schedule conflict, but yesterday afternoon, and I just want to say thank you to all the citizens that came out to give your input. We really do appreciate it, and the open houses and the citizen engagement can obviously not happen without citizens who are engaging. So thank you. Also, I want to say thank you to the staff for the hard work and the willingness you guys have to get the information that we do request. And I know that sometimes it's hard to kind of decipher what we're saying and what we're asking for, but I appreciate that you take the time to get down and find out exactly what it is we're asking for, and understanding with the new council members that are here almost a year now, but we'll still consider you newer, is that they're still learning, which also helps us who have been here for a while to learn as well. So thank you for all your questions that you ask. And happy Thanksgiving, and make sure you eat a lot.
A lot.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Gray. I do have a couple things. First, I want to thank everybody for a great Veterans Day, whether it was the units and the parade, whether it was troops on the field and the displays and all the events that made it very special for all the veterans and their families. There's one group that probably goes unthanked during this time because they're behind the scenes, and that's all the city employees in the leisure department, in the fire department, the police department, city clerk's office, public works, that are out there doing everything to make sure people can get around safely, and we have no incidents or accidents, as well as everything is set up and ready to go on the proper time, so we don't have any hiccups in the system unless they're caused by the mayor, which is okay. I again want to wish, like everybody else, I want to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving and a safe Thanksgiving. If you're traveling, make sure that you allow the proper time and you watch out for the other guy, and you don't. You can eat a lot, but don't drink too much. Okay. You don't want to see. I like the police chief, but you don't want to see him or one of his guys on a holiday weekend if you can avoid it. Okay. I will mention that on 6 December, we have our Christmas tree lighting ceremony already. We talked about Thanksgiving. Christmas is before. The tree lighting will be before we have our next council meeting on the 12th, I believe, of December. And that music will start at 4, and obviously we're not going to light the trees till we're well into twilight. So 6-ish, plus or minus, we'll light the trees, and there's great music from the community band, and it's usually a great crowd, a chance to see, as has been advertised, the refurbished Santa Clauses, which we want to thank the community for the effort to be able to do that, to continue that great attraction for our city. I got a kind of a teaser for the next meeting. We've had a donation by the Friends of the Sierra Vista Animal Shelter, and it's a nice trailer, and it'll be parked out front, open for people to come check it out, see what's going on. And it's a mobile trailer that's supposed to help care for the animals, and we'll have a motion to accept the trailer and other good things here. We also have some other unusual things in the opening ceremony of the council meeting that I'm not gonna talk about right now. And we also have another display from the high school students that are going to come in and show us something where they're going to a competition in the next couple of days. So stay tuned. You can see it on TV, or you come down and enjoy it in person. With that, I see nothing else before the council. Meeting is adjourned. Thank you for coming.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, what?